Welcome back to Tips and Tricks. I've gotten some comments on our channel that they'd like to see more cowboys done and some features, but I thought about, well, some of the features that you put on a cowboy is a 5 o'clock shadow. And I want to show you some different types of shadows that you can do with just two tools. And this here was done with a U gouge. It's a small gouge, and you would take it in here and you just stab and pick and stab and pick, and that kind of gives it a little bit more of a clean look, more like he's trying to keep his beard nice. And then also too, there is the rough look of being out there on the range, and that is with this guy here that I did some years ago using a V tool, and that's the same process as stabbing and picking. It's picking and stabbing, and all over the carving and every which way. And you can see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but underneath here, there's all I've stabbed and picked underneath there. So, and again, as I said in the earlier video, whether it's beards or anything, always go down and touching the bandana or the coat or anything when you're doing that type of carving of hair. So I've already got a face here carved out. And so we put an eye in, and we've already started just a little bit of the features here with the V tool. Now I drew a line here that we're going to separate from the V tool and the U gouge. So we're just going to come in here and stab and pick, stab and pick, stab and pick. And it does not have to be, uniformish. It just all over this guy. And even down in here in the cracks and crevices, hair does grow here in the cracks and crevices and all that. So now when I get to this point where I put enough this way, then I stop and I go back this way. And that way, stab and pick, stab and pick. Sometimes it's hard to do. Sometimes your tool wants to cut in deeper, but that's all right. And so we'll come through here, get up here to the point right up against the lip, all the way down, and that way we can get all over. And again, don't be uniform about this. Turn and go this way, and you say, man, a lot of that looks rough. Well, it's supposed to be, but then we're going to take our brush and give it a good brushing and get rid of all those little fibers of the wood that stands up. Now, whenever you get up toward the mouth, the upper lip, do take your time in here because it is a little weak area. And again, we're only going to show half of the face done in this particular style. And so, and turn and go this way, stab and pick and stab. And there's going to be areas where you're going to have to revisit because, it just takes a little time. But this will really add to your carving. And remember, if there was a shirt down here or a bandana, go right up against that. Go right up against there. Because you can always carve any stabs or cuts you make off with your knife if you happen to slip and it goes down in there. Okay, we're about ready now to go to the other side by using a small U gouge. And let's take our brush and let's finish up. We need to finish right up to our line here. And that way you can see the difference here in just a few minutes. Hear that tool cutting in there? Stab, 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 pull, pull, pull. All right, so now let's take this little U gouge, same principle, and you're going to come in and try to make it kind of even, but this here is going to hopefully, and again, if you like this look, go with it. It depends on, if you're doing a really rough look, I would go with a V tool. But again, and two, keep your fingernails short because look how that mars the wood there when I'm pushing in. So try to keep your fingernails short because basswood has a tendency to mar a little easy. All right. Now I'm getting ready to turn here because I want to get a better shot here at putting more of this in. And so stab, stab, pull, pull, stab, stab. You get the idea. And again, like I said, go right up against your shirt or bandana that you've got going there. And make sure you get in there and get all that, break up this edge here. Okay, let's take our brush. And let's get up here toward this upper lip now by doing the upper lip. Stab and pull. Now, some people has used the very tip of a knife to do this. And you can do it that way too, but it takes work also doing that style also. So there you can see the difference between a V-tool. I can see the difference and between that and a U-gouge. And again, you don't have to be that precise in there with that, but you need to make sure, you know, or put 2 or 3, 4, 5 on each side of the face. But I think it looks better if you really give them a nice full shadow with either the U-gouge or the V-tool. That's one of the details you would probably put on toward the very last of your carving. And so always make sure that you look it over and turn it every which way you possibly can to make sure that you are getting every angle that you're looking at your carving. And so with that, I think we'll call it good, but this gives you just a little idea of just some extra little things that will really make your carving really stand out. Thank you for joining us, and happy carving. Please subscribe and like the button below and leave us a comment. See you soon.